In the distant land of the archipelago, where the waves kiss the shores and the wind whispers through the bamboo groves, we Filipinos have long believed that death is not an end, but a transition, a passing from the world we know to the world beyond. Our ancestors, in their wisdom, understood that life is a cycle, and death is but a step in the eternal dance of existence. As the sun rises and sets, so too does the soul journey from one realm to the next. It is a journey of the spirit, guided by forces unseen but deeply felt, by the spirits of nature, ancestors, and the divine. As I sit beneath the stars, where the ancestors once stood, let us together ponder this great mystery. What happens when we die? Is it a peaceful departure? Or does the spirit fight to stay in the world of the living? Let us explore this question, for it lies at the heart of our beliefs. To understand death, we must first understand the nature of the spirit. In ancient Filipino thought, the soul is composed of different parts, each contributing to the person's being. The most important aspects are the kaluluwa, soul, lika, spiritual essence, and Anito, the spirit of the deceased or ancestor. Upon death, these components of the soul separate, but they are still bound to the world in one way or another. When a person dies, the kaluluwa is thought to leave the body and travel to the realm of the spirits, often depicted as a place beyond the horizon, an ethereal world that mirrors our own, yet exists just out of sight. This journey, though inevitable, is not always simple. There are stories of wandering spirits, souls that are lost or caught between worlds, unable to find their way. Have you ever wondered, my friend, what happens to those souls that wander in confusion? Are they forever lost? Or do they eventually find their way? One of the most sacred beliefs of our people is the veneration of the Anito, the spirits of our ancestors. These spirits are thought to remain among us, guiding and protecting the living, even after death. It is not uncommon for our elders to speak of the dead with reverence, for they believe that the spirits of those who came before them still have a role to play in the lives of the living. When we honor our ancestors through offerings, prayers, and rituals, we are not simply paying homage to their memories, but acknowledging their continued presence in our lives. In this way, death does not sever the bond between the living and the dead. Rather, it strengthens it. The soul of the deceased remains within the community, watching over their descendants, offering guidance and ensuring that harmony and balance are maintained. Have you ever asked yourself, do you feel the presence of those who have gone before you? When you walk through the forest or sit in quiet reflection, do you feel their whispers in the wind, their guidance in the rustle of the leaves? The journey of the soul is one of passage, and in many Filipino cultures, it is said that the soul must cross the river of death to reach the realm of the spirits. This river is often depicted as a physical boundary between the world of the living and the world of the dead. It is said that the soul must be guided across this river by a bathala, a deity, or a spirit, sometimes even assisted by the souls of ancestors, to reach the shores of the afterlife. The afterlife, unlike the bleak and barren underworld of other traditions, is a place of peace, beauty, and serenity. It is a reflection of the world we know, but devoid of the struggles of life. The soul of the deceased is reunited with the spirits of their ancestors and loved ones who have passed before them. There, in this new realm, they live in peace, often taking on a role of guardian or spirit guide for the living. The idea that death brings rest and reward is a comforting belief in our culture. However, this passage is not always smooth. There are tales of spirits who, due to unresolved issues or improper rituals, may become restless and return to the world of the living as mumu, ghosts, or multo, spirits. These restless souls are often said to appear in the form of eerie lights or sounds, haunting places familiar to them. It is believed that these spirits must be appeased through rituals, so they may find peace in the afterlife. Why then does the soul sometimes wander? Could it be that our unfinished business in life, or our unfulfilled desires, keep us bound to the world of the living? Our connection to the dead is maintained through rituals and offerings. In ancient times, before the advent of foreign influences, our ancestors practiced elaborate ceremonies to honor the dead. These rituals were deeply spiritual, often conducted with the belief that the soul required sustenance in the afterlife. Offerings of food, drink, and incense were placed at the gravesites, and prayers were spoken to ensure the safe passage of the soul. Even today, during the Undas festival, we continue to honor our deceased loved ones by visiting their graves, lighting candles, and offering prayers. The act of remembering the dead, of showing reverence for their spirits, ensures that the bonds between the living and the dead remain strong. These practices reflect the Filipino belief that death is not something to be feared, but embraced as part of the natural cycle of existence. To honor the dead is to honor life itself, for we understand that the ancestors live within us, guiding our steps and offering wisdom when we need it most. In some Filipino beliefs, the cycle of life and death is not final. There is a strong belief in the concept of reincarnation, where the soul may return in a new body to continue its journey. This belief is particularly prevalent in certain indigenous groups and reflects the idea that the soul is immortal, constantly evolving, and learning through multiple lifetimes. This cycle of rebirth is seen as a way to ensure that the soul grows, learns from its past experiences, and eventually attains spiritual purity. Thus, death is not merely an end, but a transformation, a way for the spirit to progress toward enlightenment. If this belief holds, then might we be living not only with the knowledge of our past, but also with the potential of our future? Could the person you are today be the result of the lessons your spirit has learned in previous lives? Our view of death is also deeply connected to our belief in the Bathala, the supreme God, and the forces of nature that govern the world. The universe, in its grand design, is seen as a place of order, where life and death are interconnected in a delicate balance. Death, then, is not a random event, but a part of the natural rhythm of the cosmos, overseen by divine forces. Bathala is believed to have created the world and all that lives within it, and it is to Bathala that the soul returns after its journey through death. The role of the divine in death is not just one of judgment, but one of protection and guidance. The soul, once it has completed its journey, finds peace in the arms of the divine, where it can rest, learn, and eventually be reborn if necessary. Do you feel the hand of the divine guiding you through life? When you encounter death, is it a reminder that we are all part of something larger, something eternal? The Filipino view of death is not one of fear, but of understanding and reverence. We believe that death is a continuation, not an end, and that the soul's journey is a sacred process, guided by the divine and the ancestors. It is a journey that requires honor, respect, and a recognition of the interconnectedness of all things, life, death, and rebirth. As we reflect on the mystery of death, we must ask ourselves, are we living in a way that prepares our soul for the journey ahead? Do we honor the spirits of our ancestors, and do we acknowledge the role they play in our lives? In the end, we are all travelers in the same great journey, crossing the river of death to the unknown. Yet, if we walk with respect and love, we are never truly lost. Our ancestors walk beside us, guiding us on the path to the beyond.